Good day, this is the House Doctor Show, and I'm Britt Gabor, your host. Today we're going to show you how to repair your roof with plastic roof cement. At this time we've got some felt paper on our table here, and this would be similar to your roof where a loose seam would be on your roofing material itself. And as you can see here, the roof might be peeled up, and what you would do is fold that down, and this is typical to a built-up roof that most of you might have on your homes at this time. So at this time we're going to show you the different types of things you'll need to repair your roof. We have roofing mesh. It comes as a white fabric or polyester membrane. You can see it has small holes in it, and you would cut this material and lay it on your roof, which we'll show you in a few minutes. You also take plastic roof cement, and you go to the store and you buy that. It comes in a can, and at this point I think we've got the top of that open. If we could just open that up and give them a view on the inside. It's a black tarry substance, consistency of hard butter. And okay, now we're going to show you that you also need felt gloves, or actually gloves, because the tar itself is very, very messy. In this case, we've gotten some cotton gloves. They're basically a dollar or two. If you get the tar on your hands, you can just throw it out, and you won't get any tar on your hands, in fact, with the gloves. At this point, we also have a trowel, and we've just purchased a small plastic one. You really don't need to spend a lot of money for that. And this is the type of item you would use to repair anything on your roof that you might need. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and take the tar and a trowel, and we typically would put on our gloves if we want to keep the tar off our hands. So our assistant here will put on his gloves. And one of the things you might say, well, do I really have to buy this kind of gloves? You don't have to. You can take turpentine or mineral spirits and wash your hands off afterwards. So you would take your trowel and you would take your plastic roof cement and you would go ahead and put a little dab on the roof in the area where the seam is. And then after this is on, you would go ahead and take your roofing mesh. And again, the mesh comes as a white fabric, which we see here. And go ahead and lay that down over the seam. It also comes as a yellow fabric, and it comes as an asphalt impregnated fabric, which would be black. Any one of those materials can be used. Okay, now at this point then, you go ahead and use your trowel, and you can see we've already gotten a little bit of tar on our hands, so that the glove has really saved us here. And go ahead and we're going to spread our tar onto our mesh. And the idea of putting the tar on, and this is called plastic roof cement, is to go ahead and embed the mesh with tar fully. And if you don't use the mesh, which a lot of times we'll see, you do a repair with the tar, and the repair is only going to last approximately 6 months to a year before it comes apart. If you go ahead and embed the mesh fully in the tar, you'll find out that this repair will last many, many years. So as you go ahead and put this on and the mesh disappears, you really don't need a lot of it on there, just enough to not see the fabric itself. And then you let it cure up for a couple of days. And curing up means that it skims over, so it's not very soft. You would paint the surface of this tar with any kind of paint, basically a roof paint, which would be a vinyl acrylic, and that will help keep the tar soft over the lifetime of this patch. This type of patch will last as long as the roof or longer. And during the rainy season, a lot of times you say, well, gee, I've got a leak. How do I repair it? Exactly the same way that you can see at this point. The only difference is it'd be raining probably, and you'd be up on the roof. We also call this type of material a wet patch cement that you can go up and repair, but it's a little bit different material, and it is a different brand name. Also, it comes under different brands. So at this point, you can see the mesh is gone. We've repaired the seam. The patch has a lifetime expectancy of 5 years or more. Cleanup is very simple. As you can see here, it holds this tar paper together so it just doesn't come apart. That's pretty much our class today on roof repairs. We hope you liked it. We're going to be going out to a job site and show you what the actual roof repair on the job looks like. This is the House Doctor Show. My audio's up. This is a grounded type plug. As you can see in the picture at this point, there's a green screw to the right. That is your grounding screw. And we're going to point it out. Okay, as you can see here at the end of the pin, that is your grounding screw. That's where you would hook your bare copper wire. The other screw, the brass screw, on the left side of the screen, brass hooks to your black wire. B to B is the general term we would use, brass to black. The screw in the back, which you can see through the two prongs, that is your neutral hookup. That is the place where you would hook your white wire. Now, if you're hooking an electrical wire up and you want to replace the plug, this is the type of plug you would hook up. This is called a grounded type plug. As you can see, the silver prong is your neutral side. The gold prong is your hot or black wire side, and the round area in the back is your grounded part of this plug. In the next shot, we'll show you an outlet and what this actually hooks up to. But this is the type of plug that you would use to replace on a cord. You never want to have any frayed wires. Usually on electrical, the biggest problem you have is that you'll have a scorched area. There's also a piece of cardboard that would fit on this outlet, and we're going to go ahead and show you that at this point. And as you can see here, it's this cardboard piece that fits over there and protects the wires. Okay, the next time we'll come up and we'll show you what an electrical outlet looks like. Okay, yeah, here we go. We're going to show you the outlet now at this point. And here's a grounded type outlet, and here's your grounded type outlet, and you can see right here that it has three prongs, just as we saw in the plug itself. This outlet has a small outlet to the top. That is your hot side. And it looks like a little face if you're looking at it. And there you go. You can see the pencil, actually the pen is pointing to that location. And the larger space down at the bottom is your neutral side. And most of the outlets in newer homes are like this today. The grounded area is that round area down at the bottom, right there. And if you have computer equipment or you're plugging in your electronic equipment, sometimes you'll have a grounded type plug to plug into this outlet. If you don't, it'll have two prongs, one larger than the other, and that's, if we pull the pen back just a slight bit, you notice that right here, you'll see that one prong is smaller, not as wide as the other one, and those are called polarized plugs. And that's because your equipment that you have has a plug with one prong bigger than the other. I bet you never noticed that, but when you tried to plug in your cord, it wouldn't go into the outlet unless you turn it around the other way. That's why they're made that way. Okay. Now, at this point, you can see where the outlet is, and we're going to come back to a tight shot of that plug if we can turn it to the side, and we're going to show you that there's a brass screw on the side of the outlet, and here's the brass screw at this point. And remember, black wire to brass, B to B. Now, if we can flip that outlet around to the other side, we have a silver screw, and you can see the silver screw. That would hook up to your white wire. And at the top of the outlet is a green screw. That is where your grounding wire hooks up to. The grounding wire is typically your bare copper wire. That's why we call this a grounded type outlet. As all grounding means, it's an alternate path for the power to go if you're being shocked. It takes the path of least resistance. These type of outlets are in all new or modern homes. You can also convert some of the outlets over in your existing house if you so wish, if there is a third wire there. At this point, we're going to show you some of the type of fuses that might be used also in your home. And we've got two different types of fuses. If we look at the base of the fuse that we've got here, the one on the right is a small based fuse. And you can see here where the pin is pointing it out. This is called a fuse stat. This is made with threads so that only that fuse will fit into the fuse holder, where the fuse at the left has a large base. And this is the type of fuse you would typically see in homes built in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And this is the type of fuse you'll see people putting a penny behind because it fits in the fuse holder. And if we can turn that, we could see what the amperage rating is on the fuse, and it'll say on the front face, it says 30 amps. And inside of it, you can see a copper strip with a gray piece. That is the fusible link. And that's the area where when your fuse overloads, it actually melts and stops the flow of electricity. This is one of the type of fuses that you don't tend to see much anymore, but you want to make sure you never have bigger than a 20 amp fuse in your fuse holder. So the fuse at the right now that we're going to show you is rated at 15 amps. It says time delay. And this is the typical kind of fuse that you'll see replacing the fuse that we just showed you. It is much safer. Only that size fuse will fit in because the threads are made specifically for that fuse to fit in the fuse holder. We're going to be talking about electricity in future shows, so if you have any questions, give us a call and we'll try to answer them for you. Some of the things we've gone over today are based on previous questions that people have asked and some of the letters that you've sent in. We really appreciate that. This is the House Doctor Show, and we'll see you in the next segment. Thanks a lot. Do you have time or you got to split? Today's segment we're going to be talking about on the House Doctor Show is type of fasteners that you might use as a homeowner to fasten different items to your walls in your home. Most people today have drywall walls, which is half-inch drywall. The fasteners and anchors we're going to show you today are very easy to use. The first one we're going to show you is a Molly bolt, and this type of device that we have right here is what you do is you actually push this through a hole in the wall, and it's got a screw that holds the device to the wall itself. So actually the way you do it, you can see right behind the pin there are little clips sticking through in a screw. You take your screwdriver actually where you want to make the hole in the drywall, push the screwdriver through the wall, turn it, pull the screwdriver out, and then install this device. Then you turn the screw at the end, right there, and tighten it down. And so what it does, it expands the fastener in the middle, right there in the middle, and holds it to the half-inch drywall. Then you remove the screw, attach whatever you're going to be putting on the wall. Typically this would be wall shelves that you might have your stereo on that you'd like to save, and then go ahead and put this bolt back in. This is the best type of fastener for a heavy load that might be installed on the wall itself. At this point we're going to show you the next type of fastener of the types we have. And this type of fastener here is a quick, easy way to attach lighter weight things to the wall that you might want to put on. And let's say you're installing a wall hanging or a planter on the outside or a light. You would drill a hole in the wall or again punch a hole. This is typically used for concrete walls or slump block. This white area you see here is serrated, and what you do is you drill the hole that size, which is about 1/4 inch in this case, and then you hit that nail, and the nail as it goes into the device actually expands it on the right hand side. It'll expand at the end and hold itself in the wall. This is a very good device for using to hold fasteners on the wall of a masonry constructed house, or even drywall for that matter. So that's another type of device. Okay, now we're going to show you another type of holder. This is a toggle bolt. Many of you have hung plants on the ceiling with a hook, and this type of device here is used, a quick, easy way to hold things to the ceiling, to the wall. Let's say you're putting shelves on the wall and you want to hold them in place. This device folds down flat against the bolt and push it through the wall. Again, you can use the head of your screwdriver to make the hole in the drywall, fold it down, push it through the wall, it opens up, and then you turn the screw to tighten it against the wall.